and grinding of teeth. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
As I mentioned at the beginning of our liturgy, we are fast approaching the very end of our liturgical year. We will begin a new church year with the beginning of Advent just 2 weeks from today. And so we do spend a good deal of time in these final days of our liturgical year focusing on the end times, focusing on that final accounting, focusing on that day when we hope that the Lord will gather us into that kingdom of light and peace and happiness, that second and final coming. And so to help us on that journey, we have the gospel today. A gospel that reminds us that every one of us is a servant of our Master. Every one of us is a servant of God. Too often, we start to make some decisions in our lives. We start to kind of look at the people around us, and we can discover those who have more than us, and maybe we discover those who have less than us. And so we kind of set ourselves on this sliding scale, recognizing God's blessings, but oftentimes, even in our charity, knowing that there are those less fortunate than ourselves, we tend to spend too much time focused on those who have more than us. And by doing so, we can talk ourselves into or convince ourselves that we are the poor. We are those without. We are those who have not been blessed. And so if we talk ourselves into that mindset, there's always going to be someone who has more than us. There's always going to be someone we can find who either has a larger home or a newer car or better looking clothes or goes on a more fabulous vacation, whatever the case may be. If we look, we're always going to find those people. The problem is, why are we even doing that to begin with? Why are we refusing to recognize our blessings and to recognize that God has blessed each and every one of us? Now, I'm sure there are many people that would hear this gospel and be very surprised that the one who has very little given to them, even that is taken away. Well, why was it taken away? It wasn't taken away because they only had one talent to begin with. It was taken away because they were unwilling to recognize that talent could do something, that talent could make a difference. As the Master says, even if you would have put it in the bank and invested it, there would have been some interest. There would have been some increase to its value. There would have been some greater worth in the end. And so this whole gospel is put forth for all of us to recognize that we have all been blessed. We need to stop focusing on those that we think have more than us. And we have to recognize how God has blessed us. Yes, we should always remember those who seem to have less, those who are in need of our prayers and our care and our concern, our active charity. But we need to recognize that God has blessed all of us. And he asks us to invest those blessings in the world in which we live, even when we think we don't have much, to offer ourselves in service, maybe not always financially, but the opportunity physically, spiritually, emotionally, with a kind word and a generous heart, to open ourselves up to those in need. As we prepare to celebrate Thanksgiving, the word is Eucharist in Greek. As we prepare to celebrate not only Thanksgiving here in our nation, but as we celebrate that Thanksgiving at the altar, let us remember the many ways in which God has blessed us. Let us invest those blessings in the world in which we live. And let us then one day, all of us, having done our Master's will, hear perhaps the most beautiful words in all of Scripture. Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the